First contact, final warning. Commander Sarah Reeves stood at the edge of what used to be Chicago, the wind carrying ash and dust across the ruins of the once proud skyline. 6 months had passed since the alien ships had appeared without warning in Earth's skies. 6 months since 3 billion people had perished in a single day of fire and destruction. She pulled her tactical visor down, scanning the horizon where construction crews were already rebuilding. Humanity had survived, but just barely. And now they knew they weren't alone in the galaxy, and that the galaxy was far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. "Commander," a voice called from behind her. Lieutenant Javier Cortez approached, his uniform still bearing the scorch marks from the final battle. "The Council is waiting." Sarah nodded, taking one last look at the ruined city. "Then we shouldn't keep them waiting." The underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains had become Earth's new command center after most major capitals had been destroyed in the attack. The United Earth Defense Council, 20 representatives from the remaining nations, sat around a circular table, faces grim and determined. Commander Reeves, Admiral Zhao began as she entered. "Your team has finished the preliminary analysis of the alien vessel." Sarah placed a small metallic cube on the table. It activated automatically, projecting a hologram of swirling star maps and alien text. "Yes, Admiral. What we found explains everything, and nothing." She gestured to the hologram. "They call themselves the Nix Collective. According to their records, what happened to Earth wasn't an invasion. It was a test." Murmurs rippled through the room as Sarah continued. "The Nix believe that technological species must be evaluated before being allowed to join what they call the galactic community. Their method is simple: launch an unprovoked attack and see how the species responds." "A test." President Okafor's voice was tight with barely controlled rage. 3 billion dead as a test." "Yes, Madam President. Species that surrender are subjugated. Those that fight but lose are eliminated entirely. And those that survive." Sarah paused, looking around the room. "Those that survive are monitored, then tested again with a larger force." The silence that followed was deafening. "How long do we have?" Admiral Zhao asked finally. "Based on the data, approximately 8 months before they return. And when they do, the force will be 5 times larger." President Okafor stood, her hands pressed flat against the table. "Then we have 8 months to prepare. What options do we have, Commander?" Sarah tapped the cube again, changing the projection to show technical schematics from the alien vessel. "We've reverse-engineered much of their technology. Their navigation systems, weapons platforms, and most importantly, their FTL drive. We've already begun construction on our own vessel using their tech. Project Harbinger." The hologram shifted again, displaying the sleek, predatory lines of a massive warship unlike anything humanity had built before. "This," Sarah said, "is the ESS Nemesis." "You're not suggesting we try to fight them again?" one of the council members asked incredulously. Sarah's expression hardened. "No, I'm suggesting we take the fight to them." The briefing room erupted in voices, but Admiral Zhao silenced them with a raised hand. "Explain, Commander." "The Nix archives contain their homeworld coordinates. They never expected anyone to survive their test, so they never bothered to hide this information. The Nemesis can reach their homeworld in 6 months using their own FTL technology." "And what then?" President Okafor asked. "One ship against an entire civilization." Sarah's eyes gleamed with cold determination. "We won't need more than one. Not with what we've developed." She activated another hologram, showing a spherical device with a pulsating core. "This is the Quantum Cascade Amplifier. It's what saved us in the final battle, though we had only a prototype then. The version we've installed on the Nemesis is 1,000 times more powerful. With it, we can demonstrate to the Nix exactly what happens when they attack Earth." President Okafor studied Sarah carefully. "You're proposing a first strike." "I'm proposing we send a message," Sarah corrected. "Attack Earth again, and there won't be a Nix collective anymore." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. "How many crew?" Admiral Zhao asked finally. 300. All volunteers. We've already started training. After hours of debate, the vote was unanimous. Project Harbinger would proceed. As Sarah left the chamber, Admiral Zhao fell into step beside her. "You know this is a one-way mission, don't you?" he said quietly. Sarah didn't slow her pace. "I know the odds, sir." "And you still want command?" She stopped and turned to face him. "My family was in Boston when the Knicks attacked. There's nothing left for me here, but I can make sure no one else loses what I lost." The Admiral nodded solemnly. "Then the Nemesis is yours, Commander." The next 5 months passed in a blur of preparation. The Nemesis took shape in a hidden facility beneath the Antarctic ice, safe from any orbital observation. Engineers worked around the clock, incorporating alien technology with human innovation. The day before launch, Sarah walked through the ship's corridors, inspecting every station, speaking with every crew member. They were a mix of military personnel and civilians, scientists, engineers, doctors, all united by a common purpose, all with nothing left to lose. Her final stop was the bridge, where the command crew was running final diagnostics. "Status report," she called as she entered. Lieutenant Cortez turned from his console. "All systems green. Commander, the quantum drive is operating at 98% efficiency, better than we hoped." Sarah took her seat in the command chair, running her hand over the controls. And the QCA, Dr. Eliza Chen, the quantum physicist who had developed the weapon, looked up from her station. "Ready for deployment, though I pray we never have to use it." "The best weapons are the ones you never fire," Sarah agreed. "But the Knicks need to understand the consequences of testing us again." The launch countdown began at dawn. As the massive engines powered up, Sarah addressed the crew, and through them, all of humanity watching the broadcast. "Today, we take humanity's first steps into the stars. Not as explorers, but as avengers. Not seeking peace, but demanding it." The Knicks thought Earth would be another successful test, another species to evaluate and classify. They were wrong. The Nemesis broke through the Antarctic ice with a tremendous roar, rising into the dawn sky like a sword pointed at the heavens. "They attacked Earth," Sarah said, her voice carrying across every communication channel. "Now they'll receive one final warning." As the blue of Earth's atmosphere gave way to the blackness of space, Sarah gave the order that would change the course of human history forever. "Engage quantum drive. Set course for the Knicks' homeworld." In a flash of light that briefly outshone the sun, the Nemesis disappeared, carrying humanity's message to the stars. The reckoning. 6 months of travel through the void between stars. 6 months of preparation, training, and planning. For Commander Sarah Reeves, it was also 6 months of nightmares. Boston burning, her family's faces frozen in her memory. "Quantum drive disengaging in 3 minutes," announced Lieutenant Cortez from the navigation station. "We'll be entering the next home system." Sarah straightened in her command chair. "Battle stations. Activate stealth protocols." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, the tension on the bridge palpable. The Nemesis's engines hummed as they transitioned from quantum space, emerging at the edge of an alien solar system. "Full sensor sweep," Sarah ordered. "What are we looking at?" The main view screen filled with data as the Nemesis's advanced sensors, built with reverse-engineered Nix technology, scanned the system. 8 planets, reported Science Officer Lin. Heavy activity around the 4th and 5th. Orbital structures, ships, significantly more advanced than what attacked Earth. Sarah studied the display. Life signs. Billions on the 4th planet. That must be their homeworld. And their defenses. Lieutenant Cortez frowned at his readings. Extensive. Orbital platforms. Defense grids. A fleet of at least 200 vessels of varying sizes. Sarah nodded, unsurprised. "We expected this. Initiate Phase 1. Let's get their attention." The Nemesis silently approached one of the outer planets, a gas giant with several moons. One of these moons housed a massive mining operation, with ships constantly shuttling between it and the inner planets. "Target the refinery complex," Sarah ordered. "Precision strike only. I want them to know we're here, but minimize casualties." The Nemesis's main weapons charge, drawing power from the quantum core. A beam of concentrated energy lanced out, striking the uninhabited section of the facility. The explosion was visible from space, a bright flare against the moon's dark surface. "Now we wait," Sarah said. They didn't wait long. Within minutes, a squadron of Nyx vessels appeared, moving to investigate the attack. "Here they come," Cortez announced. 10 ships, combat configuration. "Let them get close," Sarah ordered. "Then disable the lead vessel. We need prisoners." The alien ships approached cautiously, scanning for the attacker. When they came within range, the Nemesis decloaked for just 3 seconds, long enough to fire a precision shot at the lead vessel's propulsion system before vanishing again. "Impossible. Test subjects do not retaliate. They do not possess the technology." Sarah stepped forward. "We possess it now. Your technology. Improved upon. Tell your leaders the humans have come, and we demand an audience with your Overseer Council." The alien seemed to struggle with this unprecedented situation. Finally, it transmitted a message to the fleet. Within hours, the Nemesis had a heavily guarded escort to the 4th planet, Nyx Prime. As they approached the alien homeworld, Sarah addressed her crew one final time. "Whatever happens next, remember why we came. Not for revenge, but for the future of Earth. The Nyx need to understand that humans are not to be tested, not to be classified, and certainly not to be underestimated." The Nemesis descended through the atmosphere of Nyx Prime, landing on a massive platform in the center of what appeared to be the capital city. Through the viewports, they could see thousands of Nyx gathering, their military forming defensive positions around the landing area. Sarah led a small delegation out of the ship. The alien air was breathable, though heavy with unfamiliar scents. Before them stood a delegation of Nyx, taller and adorned with elaborate symbols of rank. "I am Commander Sarah Reeves of Earth," she announced, the translation system projecting her words in the alien language. "I come with a message for the Overseer Council." The lead Nyx, its skin a deep purple compared to the others, stepped forward. "I am High Overseer Kavosh. Your presence here violates all protocols. Test subjects do not achieve spaceflight capability for centuries after evaluation." "We're full of surprises," Sarah replied coldly. "Take us to your council." The Overseer Council chamber was a vast amphitheater, with 17 elevated seats arranged in a semicircle. Each seat was occupied by a different Nyx, their skin colors and markings varying widely. 3 billion, Sarah said as soon as they entered, her voice echoing through the chamber. "That's how many humans died in your test. 3 billion lives, ended because you wanted to classify us." High Overseer Kavosh took the central seat. "The testing protocol has existed for 10,000 cycles. It is how we maintain order in the galaxy. Those species worthy of advancement are identified. Those who are not are managed appropriately." "And who gave you the right to decide?" Sarah demanded. "We did," Kavosh replied simply. "Our technological superiority established our authority. This is the natural order." Sarah smiled thinly. "Then, by your own logic, you should listen carefully to what I'm about to say." She activated a small device, and a hologram appeared in the center of the chamber, a detailed schematic of the quantum cascade amplifier. "This device was developed by humans, using principles we discovered in your technology. It can destabilize matter at the quantum level across vast distances. The prototype destroyed your attack fleet over Earth. The version on our ship now could reduce this entire planet to its component atoms." Murmurs spread through the council as they examined the schematic. "You would not," Kavosh said, though uncertainty tinged the translation. "It would mean your own destruction as well." My crew volunteered for a one-way mission, Sarah replied. Every one of us lost someone in your attack. But we're not here for revenge. We're here with an ultimatum. She stepped forward, looking each council member in their alien eyes. The testing protocol ends today. Earth is off limits. Any species that wishes peaceful contact will be welcomed. Any that comes with hostile intent will cease to exist. This is not a negotiation. It is a statement of fact. You cannot enforce such a demand, another overseer objected. One ship, one weapon. Sarah cut the alien off. Dr. Chen, the demonstration, please. From the nemesis in orbit, a precisely calibrated quantum pulse struck one of Nyx Prime's uninhabited moons. The council chamber's monitors showed the small celestial body shimmer for a moment before disintegrating entirely, leaving nothing but a cloud of particles where a moon had been seconds before. Silence fell over the chamber. We have transmitted the specifications of our quantum technology to every spacefaring species in your records, Sarah continued into the silence, including those you've subjugated. The balance of power in this galaxy has changed. The era of testing is over. As if to emphasize her point, communications began flooding into the council chamber, transmissions from dozens of species across the galaxy, all reporting receipt of the human technological package. You have destabilized a system that has maintained order for millennia, Kavosh said quietly. We've ended a tyranny, Sarah corrected. Now we're offering something better, an alliance of equals, species working together by choice, not fear. We've ended a tyranny, Sarah corrected. Now we're offering something better, an alliance of equals, species working together by choice, not fear. In the days that followed, the Nemesis remained in orbit around Nyx Prime as representatives from across the galaxy arrived. Some came seeking alliance with the humans, others to witness the fall of the Nyx Collective's absolute authority. A new council was formed, one where Earth had an equal voice among the stars. When it was time to return home, Sarah stood on the bridge of the Nemesis, looking down at the alien world. Do you think they've learned their lesson? Lieutenant Cortez asked, standing beside her. Sarah watched as ships from a dozen different species moved through the system, the beginnings of a new galactic order taking shape. They attacked Earth, she said quietly. And the galaxy got a warning it will never forget. The Nemesis engaged its quantum drive, beginning the long journey home. Earth would never again be just a small blue planet, isolated and vulnerable. In the testing fire of an alien attack, humanity had emerged not just as survivors, but as guardians of a new galactic peace, and any who doubted their resolve needed only to remember, where a moon once orbited Nyx Prime, now there was only empty space, and a message written in the stars. The end.